It's very bright. How are you going there? Today we're going to be talking about how to be attractive to guys. Now, again, attraction is what we call a human thing. So if you're a guy watching this video and you're interested in girls, or if you're a guy watching this video and you're interested in guys, or if you're a girl watching this video and you're interested in girls, forget about it. We're all human. We're all on this journey together. And so I really want you to recognize that attraction isn't a gender-based thing. Some people will have you believe that. We've been told that. Attraction can be considered an energetic thing, and gender can really be considered under that umbrella. So I'm going to be talking specifically now to those women who want to be more attractive to men. But if you're a guy and all that we just said, it doesn't really matter. It just really helps me channel my message to be able to speak to a particular person. So the thing is, right, there is a big thing that I want to talk about when it comes to attraction and how to be more attractive. And it's really interesting to say this, and it's interesting to say this out loud, but you're already attractive. Like, usually people are born naturally really incredibly radiant and really incredibly attractive. Sure, we might have some insecurities. They might say, but look at this one particular thing here. How could anyone be attracted to this? But I want to bring this down to two major things: your thoughts and your feelings. Your inner beauty is what's actually truly attractive. Some people are really born with good genetics, but soon after a while, if those people don't feel really good about themselves, what tends to happen? They tend to push people away. What we feel is what we create. So it's down to your thoughts and your feelings. Because truth be told, a majority of the time, not all, not in every case, but a majority of the time what happens is people can only really think and feel about us what we've been thinking and feeling about us for a very long time. For example, have you ever gone up to someone and felt really nervous and you felt really compelled to tell them that you were nervous? And sure, it might have made you feel better, but now they know you're nervous, for example. The amount of times that I get on a call with someone and they go, yeah, but I'm not that attractive. I'm looking at one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So what I'm getting across in this video and what I really want you to understand is that we tend to condition people. We condition people. We teach them how to interact with us. We teach them. And so we teach them through our appearance, sure, but our vibe, how we interact with them, what we say, what we do, what we don't say, what we don't do, how to feel about us. So if you have these thoughts, and I want you to pay attention to these thoughts, that you have to be more attractive, or if you're watching this video because you Googled it, you're like, how to be more attractive to guys, and then there's my face coming up, right? Or if you're just a fan of my stuff or whatever, what tends to happen is our thoughts are there. So we have our thoughts, and our thoughts might say stuff like, well, hey, I'm not so great, or I'm not feeling so great today. Then what do we tend to do? We tend to hide ourselves away when we're not feeling so good. But what happens when we feel really good? We want to show it off. We want to show it to the world. Not saying that all the time, but at least when I feel really good, that's what I want to do. Or at least I'm not afraid of if other people experience it. It's not that when you feel good, you want to show it off, but when you feel bad, you get very insular. You hold it back. So that's the same thing when it comes to attraction. It's not necessarily attractive to hold yourself back, but it is attractive to allow other people in your life and to feel the happiness that you already have. Because, for example, what happens if you're, let me ask you this. What feels more attractive to you? Someone who's confident or someone who's apathetic about life? Probably the more confident person. What feels more attractive to you? Someone who's knows what they want, or someone who is second guessing themselves all the time? Probably someone who knows what they want. So the idea here is that when you recognize that you're already attractive, and that is something that you can recognize right now, and something that I lead people through when I work with people one-on-one. But when you recognize that you're already attractive, you don't need to prove it to anyone. You don't need to try and do all of, dress up. In fact, you can dress up really nicely because that's just what you want to do, not because you're trying to achieve a goal, but because it's an expression of who you are. Another thing is, right, this is why I often say to people, you don't get in a relationship to be happy. You get into a relationship because you're happy, because some people get into relationships to be happy. And what does that do? That's them trying to prove it to themselves. And so they found a proving relationship. They didn't find a relationship that they're going to settle in. They found one that is like, see, look at this. I finally made the hardest situation work for me. And that's why some people who don't love themselves, they pick the hardest relationship, because they think that if they can convert someone who's hard, they can convert anyone, and then finally they'll never be without love. But what happens if you didn't need to prove it to yourself? What happens if you didn't need to prove that you're attractive? You'd live your goddamn life. What happens when you live your goddamn life? You're goddamn attractive. It's an interesting oxymoronic thing. So I'm here in this video. And if you hear my words, if you really feel them, I'm asking you through this video to stop trying so goddamn hard to be attractive. And you might say, I'm not trying that hard, but are you trying? Are you trying? Because if you're trying in any way that is not an expression of your raw energy, then it comes off as trying. People can feel it. It's the difference between buying, say for example, some new clothing and being like, this new clothing is going to get me all the compliments. And then no one compliments you because they know that that's what you were trying, because we teach people how to feel about us. Remember that. We communicate these. We condition everyone around us. So if you're trying to be attractive, people will feel that. Have you ever met someone who is like a bit try-hard? Well, we can do that too. It happens to me. I'm like, hey everyone, like, stop trying so hard. I'm like, meh. But then the next day you buy a new outfit. And you buy it because it just makes you feel really good, or you feel really good wearing it, and it's an expression of your personality. Not that it makes you feel good, but you don't need it to feel good, but it helps you. You know what I mean? It's like adding sugar in your tea. Like maybe you needed it, maybe you didn't, doesn't really matter, but it makes it sweeter. And everyone compliments you, and they appreciate your attractiveness, not because you're trying, but because you are. So I'm here to recognize, and to help you recognize, and to recognize together with you through this video, that sometimes we think we're not there. We think we have to be something else. We have to get something else. We have to change who we are. And all we're doing is practicing changing who we are. And the same thing happens to your attractiveness. If you think that you have to become something that you're not, or you have to become more attractive without recognizing your already attractive nature, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. In fact, it's really interesting. It's one thing that I lead people through my 6-week program. I lead them through an attractive meditation, something that's very specific, because when they can truly recognize, they can look in the mirror, or they don't even need a mirror. They can feel themselves and feel that they are an attractive person. What happens is you develop a sixth sense, and you can see those people. You can see them from far. You can check into them. You can see them through their behavior patterns, that they are attracted to you. Then you get to decide what you want to do with it. And that's a really powerful thing. Then you don't need to try and prove it to yourself all the time. There's one thing I did once, actually, when I was figuring myself out and learning the whole thing about dating. As I went out with a friend, we went out around Melbourne, we dressed up, we're like, let's talk to random people dressed like hobos. But the amount of people that we spoke to that completely ignored our clothing and appearance was absolutely everyone. It was absolutely everyone. No one looked down on us because we dressed terribly. We put dirt in I was wearing my pajamas, and I think I covered myself with dirt a little bit. But your inner appearance will always shine more than your outer appearance. And those people who were born, say lucky, that they look in the mirror and at a young age are like, look, damn, I'm attractive. Or maybe they're so attractive because they've been told that they were attractive from a young age. And they just got used to a certain standard of attractiveness. And so now you can be here, right? You can be here listening to this, and you can decide, I'm going to call myself attractive. I'm going to finally say that I am, or I'm going to recognize that I am more attractive, or whatever it is. Or you can say, I'm not going to try so goddamn hard. But really, I want you to feel that you're already as attractive as you want to be. And let that feeling take its course. because it might take its course in the form where you stop trying so hard, then you start allowing yourself to wear really cool stuff, or not even at all. You might realize you don't need to wear interesting clothes to come across that like that. You know, for me, when I go through phases, I go through phases where I dress really outlandishly, and then I go through phases where I'm wearing a singlet and I'm like, yeah, I don't need anything more. Look at me, I'm great. I'm professional with whatever I do. So this is a form of self-love. You know, I often attribute everything, when I say self-love, I mean not trying so hard. Because you don't love yourself when you think you need the nails, or the hair, or the makeup, or the dress, the shirt, the tie, the shoes, the whatever. You don't love yourself when you think you do those things because you think you need them. All you're doing is putting yourself down. But if you do those things because you're inspired to, or if you do those things because it's just an expression at the time of how attractive you already are, and you don't need to prove it to anyone, you're not even needing to prove it to yourself, it's common knowledge almost, and that is the core of attraction. And that is where you find a partner that truly wants to be with you, not wants to be with your body, or not wants to be with validation. Because some people want romance, but what they're actually looking for is validation. Or some people want romance, but what they're actually looking for is, looking for is importance. So this is the space. This is the space where you truly find love. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you're a regular of my channel, you'll notice that I'm doing more videos now, just because I've personally let go of some emotional things that made me only do one video a week. It was like I was addicted to it. It was like I had to do one video a week, nothing more, nothing less, and it gave me something to do. And the irony is, as soon as I let go of needing to do videos, now I'm like, I want to do like 3, 4 a week. I don't know, let's do. And then some days I'm like, I don't want to do anymore. So this is the interesting thing when you let go. When you let go, you stop needing. And when you stop needing, you start doing. And then when you start doing, you probably do things a little bit more authentic to who you are. And you're not controlled by them, but you have the active choice. So that's what I teach. That's when we work one-on-one together. That's the power. If you can imagine who you want to be, you know, we process these things together, and it's so beautiful, and I absolutely love it. I love every person I work with. I don't work with anyone that I can't find interesting or beautiful or powerful or passionate. And the irony is I find that with everyone, but some people just make it harder for me to see it. So that's the thing. If you're interested in that, right now you can still get a complimentary call with me. I'm not quite sure if I'll do that forever, but you can still do that at gethimhooked.com. We can have a chat. I'll be able to tell if we're ready for it, you know, because sometimes people apply and I'm like, no, not yet. Sometimes people apply and I'm like, hell yes, let's do it right now. So that option is still out there. You can get that at gethimhooked.com. But in the meantime, you know, leave a like, because if you did, then I like you. And please subscribe or comment, because it helps me with the YouTube algorithms. So thank you so much. And also you get content, you know. Why am I saying this? You know, it's like it helps me out, right? But it's a win-win. So I'll talk to you soon.